From Vimanika Shastra. Bodha Ananda Vriti. According to the differences in yugas, there are 3 different types of planes. Having dealt with the constituent mechanical parts of the Vimayana, we shall now deal with the Vimayanas according to their different classes. The sutra indicates that there are different types of planes, and that they are of 3 types. In the Krita Yuga, Dharma or righteousness was 4-footed, that is, it was 4 square, fully established, all paramount, and it was adhered to implicitly by men. The men were inherently noble-born and were possessed of remarkable powers. Without needing to go through yogic discipline to attain special powers or practice mantras, which secured extraordinary results, the men of that yuga, merely by their devotion to Dharma, became Siddha-Purusha or gifted with superhuman powers. They were virtuous men and men of learning and wisdom. Going in the sky with the speed of wind by their own volition was natural to them. The 8 supersensory, and now superhuman, attainments, known as Annamaya, Mahimaya, Garamaya, Lahimaya, Prayaptaya, Priyakamaya, Aishatwa, and Vashitwa, were all possessed by them. That is, Annamaya is assumption of infinitesimal shape. Mahima is growing into gigantic shape. Garimaya is becoming astonishingly heavy. Lakimaya is becoming weightless. Prapta is securing any desired thing. Prakayama is becoming rid of desires. And Vashitwa is attaining paramountcy, becoming extremely pliant. Therefore, in Krita Yuga, or first epoch, the ancients say, there were none of the 3 classes of Vimayanas. Krita Yuga passed, and Treta Yuga commenced. Dharma then became limp of 1 foot. It served with 3 feet only, and grew gradually less efficient. So men's minds became dense, and the conception of Vedic truths and anima and other supersensory powers became scarcer. Therefore, by the corrosion of Dharma or righteousness, men lost the power of flying in the sky with the speed of wind. Perceiving this, God Mahadeva, desiring to confer the power of understanding the Vedas properly on the Dvijas, or Brahmins, Kshatriyas, and Visyas, graciously descended on earth in the form of Dakshinamurti, and through the instrumentality of Sanaka and other anointed sages, classified the Veda mantras, and then bestowing his benedictory glance on the worshipping munis or ascetics, he blessed them with the gift of Vedic perception. And then, to ensure that they were properly receptive, he embraced them and entered their hearts and illuminated their memories. The munis, overwhelmed by the divine grace, aglow with horripilation, with voice choked with emotion, praised the Supreme with Shatarudreya and other hymns, and manifested profound devotion. Pleased with their receptiveness, divine Dakshinamurti, favoring them with a benign glance, and with smile on his face, said to them, "Till now you have been known as munis or ascetics. Henceforth, having by my grace attained insight into the Vedas, you shall be known as rishis or seers. You will cultivate the Vedic mantras, and practicing celibacy, you will adore the divine goddess of the Vedas, and winning her favor, and approaching the great god Iswara, by yogic samadhi, ascertain his mind, and by his and my grace, rising to the pinnacle of intellectual vision, become adepts in the meaning and purport of the Vedas, and confirming by them your own experiences and meditative introspection. You will create the Dharmashastras or moral codes, Puranas, and Itihayasas and physical sciences in conformity to the truths of the Vedas, for the benefit of mankind. And for traveling in the sky, propagate the art of manufacturing Vimayanas, and for attaining wind speed, evolve Gudika and Pawaduka methods through Kalpashastras or scientific treatises. Then those munis or seers, enshrining in their hearts God Mahadeva in the form of Dakshinamurti, produced the Dharmashastras or ethical codes, epics, chronicles, manuals on rituals, treatises on the arts and sciences, ritualistic and sacrificial codes, in conformity to the Vedas, and propagated them among men. Amongst them, it is said that there are 6 treatises bearing on the manufacture of Vimanas produced by the ancient seers. In them are described 3 classes of Vimanas, known as Mayantrikayas, Taantrikayas, and Kritikayas, capable of flying everywhere. It is said in Vimana, Chandrika, I shall indicate the different kinds of Vimanas. In Treta Yuga, as men were adepts in mantras, or potent hymns, the Vimanas used to be produced by means of mantric knowledge. In Dwapara Yuga, as men had developed considerable tantric knowledge, Vimanas were manufactured by means of tantric knowledge. As both mantra and tantra are deficient in Kali Yuga, the Vimanas are known as Kritaka, or artificial. Thus, owing to changes in dharma during the yugas, the ancient seers have classified the Vimanas of the 3 yugas as of 3 different types. Vayomaya Tantra also says, by the influence of mantras in Treta, Vimanas are of Mayantrika type. Owing to the prevalence of tantras in Dwapara, the Vima are of Tayantrika type. Owing to decadence of both mantra and tantra in Kali Yuga, the Vimanas are of artificial type. Thus, 3 classes of Vimanas are mentioned in Shastras by ancient seers. In Yantra, Kalpa also are classified into mantra and other varieties by experts according to differences in yugas. They are defined as Maantrika, Tayantrika, and Kritika. The same is expressed in Kita Yayana Pradipika, and also Vyomayana Arkapraka Ashikawa. Thus, according to Shastras, Vimanas are divided into 3 classes, on the basis of differences in the modes of their manufacture. Maharshi Bharadwaja says, Mantrika Vimanas are of Pushpaka and other 25 varieties. Bodhaya Ananda Vritti. In the previous sutra, Vimanas were specified as of 3 types owing to differences in the 3 yugas. In this sutra, Maantrika Vimanas, or Vimayanas flying by mantric power, are said to be 25. Shonaka Sutra says, Manantrika Vimayanas in Treta Yuga are 25. Maharshi Bharadwaja says Tayantrika Vimayanas are of Vairava and other 56 varieties. Bodha Ananda Vritti. In previous sutra, the names of Maantrika Vimayanas were mentioned. In this sutra, the names of Tantrika Vimayanas of Dwapara Yuga are mentioned. In shape, movement, and speed, there is no difference between Mayantrika and Tayantrika Vimayanas. There is, however, one difference in Tayantrika Vimayanas. That is, the way in which the Shakti or power at the junction of sky and earth is incorporated. Lala also says, there is only one difference between Tayantrika Vimayanas and Mayantrika Vimayanas, the adaptation of the power of sky and earth. In shape and movement, variations, they are identical. The Tayantrika Vimayanas are of 56 varieties. In Shonaka Sutra, in Dwapara, Tayantrika Vimayanas are 56. In Mani Padrakarika, in Dwapara, Yuga Tantrika Vimayanas are said to be 56. Maharshi Bharadwaja says, Shakuna and other 25 types of Vimayanas are Kritikawa. Bodha Ananda. Bodha Ananda Vritti. In shape and movements, there is no difference in the Vimayanas, except in the matter of the use of mantras and tantras. The Kritika, or artificial Vimayanas, are of 25 varieties. Maharshi Bharadwaja says these should be built out of Raja Loha. End of quote from Vimanaka Shastra. Vimanas in Ramayana. Pushpaka Vimana is described similar to a huge jumbo jet in Sundara Kanda and Yuddha Kanda. Vibhishana says that after lunch, Rama can reach Ayodhya before sunset if he travels in Pushpaka Vimana. he says with Pushpaka Vimana. About 2,200 kilometers can be traveled in less than 5 hours, which means it can travel at 440 kilometers per hour. It carried Rama, Sita, Lakshmana, along with entire Vanara army, so it must be of great dimension. Mahavira of Bhavaputi, a Jain text of the 8th century culled from older texts and traditions, describes aerial chariots known as the Pushpakas that conveyed many people to the capital of Ayodhya. The sky was full of stupendous flying machines, dark as night, but picked out by lights with a yellowish glare. In ancient Vedic text, Sabha besides Vimanas are described flying cities. They shone like silver, and they contained much food, water, a variety of drinks, and all other necessities of life, and various defensive weapons of great destructive power. They could accommodate up to 1,000 people. There are also similar descriptions of flying cities in the Mahabharata that could move and ascend high into the sky on their own, and descend to the ground. In them was a huge door through which smaller aircraft, Vimana, could fly in and out. There is an alleged description of a battle of Atlantis and India in Ramayana that extended to the surface of the moon. Dr. Pinati, said another text, Samarangana Sutradhara had 230 stanzas devoted to the principles of building Vimanas and their use in peace and war. Having spoken thus, Maharaja Nirga made a complete circle around Lord Krishna and touched his crown to the Lord as feet. Granted permission to depart, King Nirga then boarded a wonderful celestial car as all the people looked on. Bhagavata Purana. Maharaja was passing through space. He saw, in succession, all the planets of the solar system, and on the path he saw all the demigods in their Vimanas, showering flowers upon him like rain. Bhagavata Purana. He traveled in that way through the various planets as the air passes freely in every direction, coursing through the air in that grand and splendid Vimana, which could fly at will. He surpassed even the Devas. Bhagavata Purana. The highly intelligent Asura Maya built the cities. There were many palaces with gems, aerial cars shining like the sun, set with Padmaraga stones, moving in all directions and looking like moonbeams, illuminated the cities. Siva Purana. When morning dawned, Rama, taking the celestial car Puspaka had sent to him by Vibhishan, stood ready to depart. Self-propelled was that car. It was large and finely painted. It had 2 stories and many chambers with windows, and was draped with flags and banners. It gave forth a melodious sound as it coursed along its airy way. Ramayana. Spaka car, that resembles the sun and belongs to my brother, was brought by the powerful Ravan. That aerial and excellent car, going everywhere at will, is ready for thee. That car, resembling a bright cloud in the sky, is in the city of Lanka. Ramayana. Car coming by force of will Rama attained to an excess of astonishment. And the king got in, and the excellent car, at the command of Rakira, rose up into the higher atmosphere. And in that car, coursing at will, Rama greatly delighted. Ramayana. Daityas were being slaughtered. They again took to their Vimana, and, employing the Danava science, flew up into the sky. I, Arjuna, assaulted their Vimana. Wounded by the flight of deadly accurate iron missiles, the Asura Vimana fell broken to the earth. Matali swiftly descended earthward, as in a steep dive, on our divinely effulgent car, Mahabharata. Took up that fierce weapon, which resembled the tongue of the destroyer or the sister of death. That terrible and effulgent dart, Naikartana, was hurled at the Rakshasa. Beholding that excellent and blazing weapon, the Rakshasa began to fly away in fear, destroying that blazing illusion of Ghatotkacha and piercing right through his breast. That resplendent dart soared aloft in the night. Ghatotkacha, then uttering diverse roars, fell, deprived of life by the dart of Sakra. Mahabharata had all necessary equipment. It could not be conquered by the gods or demons, and it radiated light and reverberated with a deep, rumbling sound. Its beauty captivated the minds of all who beheld it. Visvakarma, the lord of its design and construction, had created it by the power of his austerities, and its outline, like that of the sun, could not be easily delineated. Bharata also gave unto Arjuna a car furnished with celestial weapons, whose banner bore a large ape, and its splendor, like that of the sun, was so great that no one could gaze at it. It was the very car riding upon which the Lord Soma had vanquished the Danavas. Resplendent with beauty, it looked like an evening cloud reflecting the effulgence of the setting sun. Mahabharata. Bhima flew along in his car, resplendent as the sun and loud as thunder. The flying chariot shone like a flame in the night sky of summer. It swept by like a comet. It was as if two suns were shining. Then the chariot rose up, and all the heavens brightened. Mahabharata. And on this sun-like, divine, wonderful chariot, the wise disciple of Kuru flew joyously upward. When becoming invisible to the mortals who walk the earth, he saw wondrous airborne chariots by the thousands. Mahabharata. Arjuna, having passed through successive regions of the heavens, at last beheld the city of Indra, and there he beheld celestial cars by thousands stationed in their respective places in airport, and capable of going everywhere at will. And he saw tens of thousands of such cars moving in every direction. Mahabharata. And having vanquished his foe, Krishna, furnished with weapons and unwounded, and accompanied by the kings, came out of Girivraja riding on that celestial car. Upon that car, Krishna now came out of the hill fort, possessed of the splendor of heated gold and decked with rows of jingling bells. Always slaughtering the foe against whom it was driven, it was the very car riding upon which Indra had slain 99 asuras of old. Mahabharata. And thereupon that best of cars became still more dazzling with its splendor, and was incapable of being looked at by created beings as the midday sun surrounded by 1,000 rays. And Achyuta, that tiger among men, riding with the two sons of Pandu upon that celestial car, coming out of Girivraja, stopped for some time on a level plain outside of town. Mahabharata. Beheld in the sky what appeared to us to be a mass of scarlet cloud resembling the fierce flames of a blazing fire. From that mass many blazing missiles flashed, and tremendous roars, like the noise of 1,000 drums beaten at once. And from it fell many weapons winged with gold, and thousands of thunderbolts with loud explosions, and many hundreds of fiery wheels. Loud became the uproar of falling horses, slain by these missiles, and of mighty elephants struck by the explosions. Those terrible Rakshasas had the shape of large mounds stationed in the sky. Mahabharata. Vimanas, decked and equipped according to rule, looked like heavenly structures in the sky. Borne away, they looked like highly beautiful flights of birds. Mahabharata. With great energy, the Rakshasa once more came down to earth in his golden Vimana. When it had landed, it looked like a beautifully shaped mound of antimony on the surface of the ground. Gada Trakabadma. The splendid chariot made of silver and coated with tiger skin, and bright like the fire itself, making a noise like the roaring of the clouds, defying all obstacles, adorned with jewels and gold, dazzling to the eyesight and bright, went speedily on, making space resound like unto the muttering cloud in the sky. He issued out of his abode like the beautiful moon passing through a huge cloud. Ayodhya Kandam XVIP 235-236. Manufacturing details of these machines are withheld for the sake of secrecy. not out of ignorance. Samarangana Sutradhara. The airplane occupied by Salva was very mysterious. It was so extraordinary that sometimes many airplanes would appear to be in the sky, and sometimes there were apparently none. Sometimes the plane was visible, and sometimes not visible, and the warriors of the Yadu dynasty were puzzled about the whereabouts of the peculiar airplane. Sometimes they would see the airplane on the ground, sometimes flying in the sky, sometimes resting on the peak of a hill, and sometimes floating on the water. The wonderful airplane flew in the sky like a whirling firebrand. It was not steady, even for a moment. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Krishna. Kuka, flying on board a high-powered Vimana, hurled onto the Triple City a single projectile charged with all the power of the universe. An incandescent column of smoke and flame, as bright as 10,000 suns, rose in all the splendor when the Vimana returned to Earth. It looked like a splendid block of antimony resting on the ground. Mosola Purva. O King, this beautifully decorated airplane had been manufactured by the demon Maya and was equipped with weapons for all types of combat. It was inconceivable and indescribable. Indeed, it was sometimes visible and sometimes not. Seated in this airplane under a beautiful protective umbrella and being fanned by the best of Kamaras, Maharaja Bai, surrounded by his captains and commanders, appeared just like the moon rising in the evening, illuminating all directions. Upada Bhaktivedanta Srimad Bhagavatam. Writer and Sanskrit scholar Subramanyam Iyer has spent many years of his life deciphering old collections of palm leaves found in the villages of his native Karnataka in southern India. One of the palm leaf manuscripts they intend to decipher is the Amsu Badini, which, according to an anonymous text of 1931, contains information about the planets, the different kinds of light, heat, color, and electromagnetic fields, the methods used to construct, machines capable of attracting solar rays and, in turn, of analyzing and separating their energy components, the possibility of conversing with people in remote places and sending messages by cable, and the manufacture of machines to the other planets. Disciple, a student in the science of government, sail in oceans in steamers, fly in the air in airplanes, know God the Creator through the Vedas, control thy breath through yoga. Through yoga, through astronomy, know the functions of day and night. Know all the Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Sama, and Atharva, by means of their constituent parts. Through astronomy, geography, and geology. Go thou to all the different countries of the world under the sun. Mayest thou attain through good preaching to statesmanship and artisanship, through medical science obtain knowledge of all medicinal plants, through hydrostatics learn the different uses of water, through electricity understand the working of ever-lustrous lightning. Carry out my instructions willingly. Yajur Veda 6.21. Royal Skilled Engineer. Construct seaboats, propelled on water by our experts, and airplanes, moving and flying upward, after the clouds that reside in the mid-region, that fly as the boats move on the sea, that fly as the boats move on the sea, that fly high over and below the watery clouds. Be thou, thereby, prosperous in this world, created by the omnipresent God, and flyer in both air and lightning. Yajur Veda 10.19. Atomic energy fissions the 99 elements, covering its path by the bombardments of neutrons without let or hindrance. Desirous of stalking the head, I, the chief part of the swift power, hidden in the mass of molecular adjustments of the elements. This atomic energy approaches it in the very act of fissioning it by the above-noted bombardment. Herein, verily, the scientists know the similar hidden striking force of the rays of the sun working in the orbit of the moon. Atharva Veda 20.41 1.3 Gara 11th century collection of Indian legends, refers to highly talented woodworkers called Rajedhara and Pranadhara. The former was so skilled in mechanical contrivances that he could make ocean-crossing chariots, and the latter manufactured a flying chariot to carry 1,000 passengers in the air. These chariots were stated to be as fast as thought itself. The Rig Veda, the oldest document of the human race, includes references to the following modes of transportation. Jalayan, a vehicle designed to operate in air and water. Kara, a vehicle that operates on ground and in water. Tritala, a vehicle consisting of 3 stories. Trichakra Ratha, a 3-wheeled vehicle designed to operate in the air. Vayuratha, a gas or wind-powered chariot. Vidyut Ratha, a vehicle that operates on power. The Arthasastra of Kautilya, c. 3rd century B.C., mentions amongst various tradesmen and technocrats the Saufikas as pilots conducting vehicles in the sky. Saba was the name of the aerial flying city of King Harishchandra, and the form Sabika means one who flies or knows the art of flying an aerial city. Kautilya uses another significant word, Akasa Yodhina, which has been translated as persons who are trained to fight from the sky. The existence of aerial chariots, in whatever form it might be, was so well known that it found a place among the royal edicts of the Emperor Asoka, which were executed during his reign from 256 B.C. 237 B.C. Now Vada's chariot-esque greatness. Breaking goes it, and thunderous is its noise. To heaven it touches, makes light lurid a red, fiery glare, and whirls dust upon the earth. Rig Veda Vata is the Aryan god of wind. Sage Agastya is mentioned in Mahabharata of 4000 BC. The Agastya Samhita, ancient document on gems, gives Agastya-esque descriptions of 2 types of airplanes. The first is a shachatra, umbrella or balloon, to be filled with hydrogen. The process of extracting hydrogen from water is described in elaborate detail, and the use of electricity in achieving this is clearly stated. This was stated to be a primitive type of plane, useful only for escaping from a fort when the enemy had set fire to the jungle all around. Hence the name Agnyana. The second type of aircraft mentioned is somewhat on the lines of the parachute. It could be opened and shut by operating cords. This aircraft has been described as Vimana Vigunam I, of a lower order than the regular airplane, and scientific analysis of above-mentioned Samarangana Sutradhara, 11th century text attributed to King Bhoja. I personally don't like this one too much, because it implies mercury is used as jet propulsion. This probably was so in case of these Vimanas, but mercury is usually used for gravitational effects. It seems the newer the reference, more primitive the technology. There are 2 types of Vimanas described in Samarangana Sutradhara of Bojadeva. They are Laf Daru Vimana and Ala Vudaru Vimana. Bhoja Deva in his text has also mentioned that he personally has seen a few of the Vimanas which he has described. Laf Daru Vimana. Verses 95-96 of chapter 31 of Samarangana Sutradhara describes Laf Daru Vimana. It is the most fascinating yantra described by Bojadeva in his works. Even though he gives the barest details, this book is one of the few Sanskrit texts which speaks about the actual construction of Vimanas. Sharma, 2012, 380-81. While Lav Daru Vimana is in the shape of bird, Alagu Daru Vimana is in the shape of temple. It flies along a heavy aerial car made of wood. It is a heavier Daru Vimana, which contains 4 pitchers of mercury over iron ovens. When mercury A Rasaraja is heated, it explodes quickly and becomes an object of decoration in the sky, mainly because of pots heated by the slow ignition burnt within the steel or iron potherds. According to Bojadeva, the boiling mercury ovens produce a terrific noise which can scare away the elephants. Hence, it is used in battles for the same purpose. The roar could be increased by strengthening the mercury chambers so that elephants are thrown completely out of control. This specific military use of aircraft against elephants tempts one to suggest that the hasty yantra advocated by Kautilya against elephants was something like the heavier Daru Vimana described by Bhoja. Raghavan 1952, 24,